Good morning, I'm Jeff. I'm a Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 15040 Southwest Ashley Drive here in Portland. We're located at the front of the home here. We're just off to the left of the front doorway. We have a 3-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. Once we get the camera back down to the bottom of the cleanout, we'll zero out the camera length counter. Here we go. Looks like we might have a little standing water right off the bat there. We'll take a look at that on the way out when the water's turned off. Generally, in my experience, it takes at least 5 feet of pipe with about an inch of standing water before you're really going to get any debris buildup. Transitions here at 61 feet over to 4-inch 3034 PVC pipe. Alright, I kind of want to show this here. I was kind of suspicious there might have been something up ahead. So you get right here, and you can see we have a bunch of debris that's stuck to the top of the pipe. Generally, the only way stuff like that gets there, and that looks like toilet paper, possibly paper towel, something like that. But that's by the entire line filling up, getting clogged and filling up, and then depositing stuff at the top of the pipe there. So you come up just a little bit further here, and you start to see some standing water. We'll have a better look at this when it's all drained out. My camera is riding up over the top of something here that's fairly tall sitting in the flow line. So we may have some damaged pipe there that's causing debris to hang up in the flow line and clog up from time to time. It doesn't look like it's happening a ton, not unless this line's been jetted recently. It's actually quite clean and clear of any debris for the most part. But it's based on that debris just before at the top of the pipe. That's what I expect to see when you've got stuff like that going on. So we've got another spot there with a little standing water. And here at about 95 feet out, we have reached the main lateral. I'm going to go verify where the line terminates, and then we're also going to let the pipe drain out completely before rolling back. I located the camera head out the main lateral on Southwest Ashley Drive. There's a manhole kind of on the far side of the road. The line actually kind of goes, if you're looking at the roadway anyway, kind of uphill, comes out and then crosses from the right side of the house over to the left side and kind of heads up the hill essentially, or up the street. That's what it appears to be. Alrighty, for the most part here we are all drained out. Very little water trickling through at this point. Alright, so we do have a belly here that looks like it's holding right about an inch of standing water. And again, this is right at the breaking point. This belly here is about 4 feet long. Now it's right at the breaking point where debris can build up in the line. You can see how clean and clear this is of any debris buildup. Mostly stuff like this are problems when you're flushing things down the line that shouldn't be going down there, like paper towels, putting grease down the sink, stuff like that. You can see at this point here, the water is crystal clear. This house has been around long enough. That's obviously allowing stuff to drain out. So for that reason, I'm not going to recommend a repair there. That's out in the middle of the road. And based on how clean that water is there, I'm not going to recommend a repair on that. It's just one of those that would be far too expensive to see a little payoff. But just make sure you're not flushing anything giant down the pipe. That's really, in that circumstance, that's right. I mean, that's actually less than what I normally recommend repairs on. That belly was 4 feet. Typically around 5 feet of pipe with an inch of standing water is where I will start to see things building up. But they are absolutely livable. You just got to make sure you're not flushing, giant wads of toilet paper down the line and putting paper towels and feminine hygiene products. The only thing that should be going down your sewer line, period, is folded toilet paper down the toilet, and then a reasonable amount of food down the disposal, and avoiding anything with fat or grease in it. Now, it looks like we do have some damage to the pipe here. I can't tell exactly what's caused that. There's a huge ridge, though, running right across the flow line here. The only way your stuff's getting around this, for the most part, is by coming around this little side part here where the camera is coming through. Now, I do recommend a repair to correct this. That's a significant amount of damage there. The pipe's lost about half its diameter, and you've got a big old dam sitting right in the middle of the flow line for debris to hang up on. And that's more than likely what's caused this debris just prior to this to collect. It looks like it has clogged up in the past, and for good reason. That's a significant amount of obstruction there in the flow line. I'm going to get this marked here with a white X. I do recommend a repair to fix this. Alright, I did locate the camera head. If you're standing down in the street looking up at the house, the line crosses over and comes down the left side of the driveway, actually just aside to it. I'm sure it runs under it at a certain point as it crosses over. But at this point here, it's about 2-3 feet to the side of the driveway in the dirt. It is almost smack dab underneath the large tree at the front left corner of the property. And that there is what's causing this huge deformation in the pipe. I'm about 90% sure that's what's causing it. It's pretty... Generally, the roots will just break through it. At this point, I'm amazed the pipe has withstood it and hasn't opened up yet. So, at this point, based on the amount of debris that's here, the line is still functioning to a certain extent. I can tell it has clogged up in the past. So it's something that if you wanted to, you could live with it. I would highly recommend getting this repaired. Because if the roots do, and I'm pretty positive at some point they're going to tear through the pipe, once that happens, this line will be clogging up like crazy. It's a very large root. It's about the size of your arm coming up into there. So if it does tear through, it'll be a totally different story. So I do have that marked. It's right as the property meets the sidewalk, right up against it at about 5 feet 8 inches deep. That's marked with a white X. I recommend a rescope after which to check the repair work. If you decide to try and live with it, I would recommend a rescope in a year to see how the line's handling your living habits. If you're seeing significant debris, you may need to jet the line every so often, maybe every year, every 2 years. And then after that, I would scope it at least every 2 years or so to make sure that root hasn't busted through the pipe. So once that happens, the line's not going to function for very much longer. It'll clog up really fast. The roots will spread out through there like crazy. We're just about back to the clean out here. We are going to reverse direction and scout back into the crawl. And this is that little bit of standing water we saw here at the very start. We'll let this kind of settle in and get an idea. Yeah, this section here is only about 3 feet or so in length, and at its worst point is around a ½ inch of water. This close to the home, where the flushing and draining is the strongest, That's one, in my opinion. Again, it's one, if you're flushing things like diapers or cloth rags down the line, that's the more likely spot it's going to hang up. But those are items that are going to clog anywhere. That's just a pretty minimal little belly there. So, for that reason, I'm not concerned about that. I don't recommend repairing it. Biggest issue in this line here is that deformed portion of the sewer. Every other spot in the line that has any standing water at all is clean and clear of any debris at all. Alright, that's as far as we can go there. Just want to make sure that was looking good. All the pipe on the interior is in good shape, or at least so we can scope and draining properly. So, aside from the spot where the root's trying to come through, the rest of the line is in good shape and intact and has adequate flow. Once that root's taken care of, the line will be draining much better than it is. And at this point here, because that root hasn't broken through and there is a little leeway spot for stuff to make it around, the line is still functioning, but is being hindered quite a bit by that.